Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well and I welcome you all at 12-week antibiotic course for medical students on Medical Guruji. As this is the second last video, means week 11, in which we are going to discuss about research and development in antibiotics. So without any further delay, let's start our today's video and for the antibiotic course. Research and development in antibiotics is a critical field aimed at combating bacterial infections and addressing the growing challenges in antimicrobial resistance. Key areas which focus in antibiotic research. First one is discovery of new antibiotics. Researchers explore natural sources like soil microbes and marine organisms for novel antibiotic compounds. Synthetic biology and genetic engineering are used to design new antibiotics. Understanding mechanisms. Study focus on how antibiotic work, such as inhibiting cell wall synthesis or protein production in the bacteria. Research also investigate how bacteria develop resistance to antibiotics. Combating resistance. Development of antibiotic targeting drug resistance bacteria such as MRSA, methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Exploring non-traditional approaches like bacteriophages, antivirulence agent and microbiomodulating therapies. All these were the research areas. Clinical trials and global partnership. Clinical trials. New antibiotics undergo rigorous testing in clinical trials to ensure safety and efficacy. Trials also assess the effectiveness of antibiotics against resistant strains. So this one is a study which shows role of antibiotic prophylaxis in open inguinal hernioplasty, a prospective randomized clinical trial which was done in Gujarat in GMERS Medical College. Global partnership. Organization like the Global Antibiotic Research and Developmental Partnership work to develop and make accessible treatment for drug resistant infections. This can be the better options to develop new antibiotics which are beneficial against the antibiotic resistance. Collaborative between public and private sector is essential to fund and advance antibiotic research and development. Challenges in antibiotic research. Innovation gap. There are too few innovative antibiotics in development to address critical pathogens. Regulatory hurdles. Non-traditional therapies face challenges in clinical studies and approval processes. Access and affordability. Ensuring new antibiotics reach patients in need, especially in low-income regions. So, antibiotic resistance and development is a race against time to stay ahead of evolving bacterial threats. These were the challenges including innovative gap, regulatory hurdles, access and affordability. New and emerging antibiotics. Pivimecillinum, approved for treating uncomplicated UTI, urinary tract infection in adult women. Effective against certain UTI causing bacteria like E. coli, Escherichia coli or Proteus mirabilis. Orlinau, Sulopenem, Itjadroxil and Probenicid. Target resistant strain of E. coli and Klebsiella pneumoniae. Designed for patients with limited oral antibacterial treatment options. Rocainol antibiotics. 2 new antibiotic in development for carbapenem resistant gram negative infections. Focus on pathogen like Acinetobacter baumannii. Bacteriophage based therapies emerging as alternative to traditional antibiotics. So these are the new and emerging antibiotics. Target specific bacterial strains without harming beneficial bacteria. Antimicrobial resistance. The rapid evaluation of bacteria renders many existing antibiotics ineffective. Resistance mechanisms such as efflux pump, enzyme production reduce drug efficacy. Rapid evaluation of the bacteria. Bacteria quickly adapt to antibiotics. Resistance mechanisms. Efflux pumps and enzyme productions are the mechanisms used in the resistance by the bacteria. Reduced efficacy. Many existing antibiotics become ineffective. Developmental cost and regulatory barriers for the researchers in antibiotics. High development cost. The research and development process of antibiotics is expensive, involving extensive preclinical and clinical trials. Investment returns are often lower compared to chronic disease drugs, discouraging pharmaceutical companies. Regulatory barriers include the approval process of new antibiotic can be lengthy and complex. Non-traditional therapies face uncertainty in regular pathways. So these were the developmental cost and regulatory barriers. Innovations and market challenges. Lack of innovation. A limited number of truly novel antibiotics are in development. Derivative drugs. Many new drugs are derivatives of existing classes. Market challenges. New antibiotics often reserved for severe cases, reducing sales. And access issues also there, ensuring affordable access in low income countries. These were the innovation and market challenges. Non-traditional antibiotics. Bacteriophage therapy. Viruses that specifically target bacteria are being explored to treat resistant infections. Antimicrobial peptides. These naturally occurring molecules disrupt bacterial membranes and are less prone to resistance. Antivirulence agents. Compounds designed to neutralize bacterial toxins or disarm their ability to cause disease without directly killing them. Last one is microbiomedical based therapies. Modulating the body's microbiome to outcompete harmful bacteria. These were the non-traditional antibiotics. Synthetic biology and engineering. Synthetic antibiotics designed completely new molecules using AI and computational models. In engineering natural compounds, modifying natural antibiotics to enhance their activity or overcome resistance is there, which includes structural modification to improve binding, chemical alterations to evade resistance mechanism, hybrid molecules combining different antibiotic classes. Diagnostic integrations. It includes rapid identification, development of tools that can quickly identify specific bacterial pathogens, which will be helpful. Resistance detection. Tools that can determine antibiotic resistance within hours instead of days. Targeted treatment. Enabling precise targeted antibiotic use based on specific pathogen identification should be there. Reduced overuse. Preventing unnecessary antibiotic prescription through accurate diagnostics. So if there is rapid identification, resistance detection, targeted treatment, reduced overuse, all these factors are very helpful in combating resistance regarding the antimicrobe. Combinations therapies. Antibiotic combinations. Combining existing antibiotics with other compounds to restore their efficacy against resistance bacteria. Resistance inhibitors. Pairing antibiotics with inhibitors that block bacterial resistance mechanism like beta-lactam enzymes. Targeted approach. It can be attained by developing specific combinations for particular resistance pathogens. Synergistic effects. Using multiple drugs that work together to enhance overall antimicrobial activity. All these can be used. Repurposing existing drugs. Investigating non-antibiotic drug for their antibacterial properties or their ability to enhance antibiotic activity. This approach can significantly reduce development time and cost by leveraging medications with established safety profiles. Immune modulation. Infection, bacterial pathogen enters body, immune therapy, administration of immune boosting agents, enhanced response, strengthen immune system activity. Pathogen clearance, elimination of bacterial infections. These were the steps of immune modulation. Developing therapies that boost the host immune system to combat infections were more effective. Incentives for innovations. Incentive type, description and example. Market entry reward should be there. Financial payments for successful development of priority antibiotics, like $1 billion reward for novel class antibiotics. Research and development subsidies. Direct funding to offset research cost. Government grant for early stage researches. Tax incentives. Tax credit for antibiotic development. Research and development tax credit specific to antimicrobial research. Extended exclusivity. Longer patent protection for new antibiotics. Additional years of market exclusivity. These were the incentives so that innovation can be done faster and more innovations are there. Global collaboration. Combating antimicrobial resistance bacteria, biopharmaceutical accelerators funds early stage antibiotic development project worldwide. GARDP, Global Antibiotic Research and Development Partnership, bring together academia, industry and policymakers to fund and support cutting edge research. WHO initiatives. World Health Organization coordinates global efforts to combat antimicrobial resistance through policy guidance and technical support. Personalized medicine in antibiotic treatment. Genetic profiling. Analyzing the patient genetic makeup to determine how they will metabolize and respond to specific antibiotics, which will helpful in their treatment plan. Pathogen sequencing. Identifying the exact genetic profile of the bacterial infection to determine its specific vulnerabilities so that we can prescribe drug accordingly. Tailored treatment. Selecting the optimal antibiotic or combination therapy based on both host and pathogen characteristics so that maximum effect can be achieved. Monitoring and adjustment. Continuous assessment of treatment efficacy with real-time adjustment are needed. These are the important factors which can enhance the effect of antibiotics and reduce resistance. The economic impact of antimicrobial resistance. How the economy was affected. $100 trillion global economic cost. Project cumulative cost of antimicrobial resistance by 2050 if it is not addressed. Then 10 million annual deaths due to antibiotic resistance by 2050. 3.8% GDP reduction. Potential annual GDP loss due to antimicrobial resistance. $40 billion healthcare cost. Annual additional healthcare expenditure in the US alone only. Remaining other countries are on the side. This cost is of US only. Antibiotic stewardship programs. Appropriate prescribing is important. Ensuring antibiotics are only prescribed when truly needed. Evidence-based guidelines should be followed. Diagnostic confirmation should be there. Optimal selection of the antibiotics. Choosing the right antibiotic for each infection. Narrow spectrum when possible. Local resistance patterns should be there. Proper duration. Using antibiotics for the correct length of time. Shortest effective course. Regular reassessment. Is there need of antibiotic or there is need to change the dose, etc. Monitoring and feedback. Tracking antibiotic use and resistance pattern. So these were the steps should be followed in antibiotic stewardship program. Regular data analysis, prescriber education. Future outlook for antibiotic development. So this graph shows from 2020 to 2040 where traditional antibiotics are decreasing and novel approaches are increasing. These advancements and strategies are essential to combat the escalating crisis of antibiotic resistance and ensure the availability of effective treatment for future generations. So here we come to the end of our 12-week antibiotic course regarding antibiotics for medical students. I hope you have gained so much throughout this 12-week journey. 11-week journey. 12 week is upcoming, and announcement for 12 week is that 12 week we are going to discuss the test, as the pre-test is shared before the starting of this course, post-test also shared with the ending of this course. If you like the video, share it in your circle, subscribe our channel and stay tuned for the last video. Thank you.